and consulting for a long time now on brand leadership. I had the good fortune of covering Germany's rebranding success story during the 2006 FIFA World Cup. Wrote the book on how Germany won the World Cup of nation branding, and then subsequently was asked to join the destination branding campaign for South Africa 2010. And for those of you who remember 2010, I hope you've got good memories, because collectively we achieved the highest branding score in the 110 years of FIFA, the World Cup, and that is a 92% from the visitors. Ever since, I've been building strategic relationships with by now 250 global leaders. You can see them on the Future Leader Forum. And obviously working with our clients to help them grow their business, in one case 10x. And also had the good fortune of growing my World Cup bestseller, or my World Cup book, to a bestseller status with 500,000 copies in print. So very much brand leadership, brandology, Yatin the deal maker, and together, okay, before we come to our clients, what I learned in the run-up to the World Cup and during the World Cup, when I covered the events in the media, on TV, CNBC, BBC, in print, Business Day, and many other media, is basically what we are applying today on LinkedIn in terms of content marketing. And we're really focusing on 3 sectors, 3 industries. As you can see, the tech industry, IBM, SAP as a global service provider to the SAP channel partners. Then the financial industries, the likes of EPSA, Old Mutual, and many professional services firms who are looking to grow their business and attract clients online.
It'll be worth saying, although you may see some big logos there, we've tailored our products to suit corporates as well as SMEs, even small organizations, and we even have products for solopreneurs. So big or small, yeah.
That's right. That's right. So please tell us in the chat, what is your primary business objective for 2024? Are you looking to grow the business? Are you looking to attract clients? Are you looking to become a thought leader? Are you looking to enter a new career? What is your primary business objective?
Yeah, and as you think about that, think about the business engine and the 5 pistons, in particular, attracting clients, converting deals, growing, and ultimately scaling your business. Many businesses find it difficult to attract clients, and if they are doing it, attracting the right clients is possibly a challenge. Tell us, what are you finding difficult in the space of new business development? In the chat, please. Attracting clients. Thank you, David. Yeah. Thank you. All right. Anyone else? Please let us know.
All right. So if you're looking to attract clients, you would have come across a number of hurdles. We call them business development challenges. Obviously, last year and this year. And we would quickly like to unpack the business development challenges that are existing today. So first and foremost, in-mail and email response rates have dropped many times to 1% or less. And it's really, really hard to get hold of, especially of decision makers, via cold mailing or worse, cold calling, right, Yatin?
Absolutely. That's exactly what Jeff is saying. Hi, Jeff. Nice to see you again. Jeff is saying cold calling and cold mailing. Who loves that? Not me, certainly. And I don't like receiving them. And you know how it makes the other person feel doing that job. So there's no need for you to be doing that. And if you do it the right way, if you have an online brand that pre-sells you, pre-sold is the title of our book, you don't have to be doing that, right? And if you unlock in totality inbound marketing, your clients will be calling you, right? So that's what we're going to show you how to do on this webinar.
Right. And we will focus primarily on inbound marketing rather than the old traditional outbound, the cold calling, the cold mailing, because this is all about, as you know, building strategic long-term relationships with decision makers. So that brings us to challenge number 3. There's a plethora of networks out there, social media, all the way from Twitter, X, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, you name it. How do you break through the noise? I mean, in January alone, a client of ours counted the messages he received, just incoming messages online, more than 5,000, right? And that was not even in 30 days. So breaking through the noise, obviously a major challenge. And
Absolutely.
equally challenging, the next
Even
one.
challenging, well, and almost linked, right? Getting the attention, not being the noise maker, but being the one that stands out from the crowd, is the 4th business development challenge. And, you know, these go hand in glove. So how do you get, and not just get, hold the attention of decision makers? Well, there's a trust formula that you need to be aware of, right? Your buyer needs to trust you, and we're going to come to that in detail. Must trust that you are the provider of a solution to their problems or can help them achieve a certain benefit. That is what you need to do. You need to understand that formula very well, and you need to present yourself in a way that is trustworthy and value-adding. And if you lead with value, that's how you start, by getting the attention of decision makers, and then you hold it. And there's a technique for that.
Exactly. And challenge number 5 is how do decision makers cope with the information overload that we're experiencing every single day? So you're competing on various levels. And obviously, this is one of them. Another level where you're competing is advertising. Tell us about the ROI, Yatin.
Or the ROA, return on advertising. It's plummeting, all right? Which is why on social media you find advertising costs going up so high, because the returns are low. So it doesn't work. People, especially if you're in the services industry, all right, if you're selling a product, and if you B2C, there's a space for that. If you're in the professional services, and I see many of you are, and you're trying to succeed in the B2B space, you need to be talking the language of return, and advertising is outdated. The most authentic is, or organic, you want to call it organic advertising, is you presenting yourself like the way we do, and we present webinars in an authentic way, right? Leading with that value, teaching your potential clients something, giving them value first with no expectation. And that's the first step in building trust and relationships.
Thank you. So quickly tell us, if you wish, how successful are you currently at building strategic relationships at decision maker levels, breaking through the noise, getting the attention, and hopefully holding the attention of decision makers? Please let us know, maybe on a scale of 1 to 10. 10 would be perfect, and 1 would be obviously very low.
And while you think about that, it is becoming more difficult. So don't beat yourself up about it, especially if you're in a competitive environment and industry. It is difficult. Good.
It certainly is. And we have just one ask of you for this webinar.
Thank you. Thank you. I just want to say, I'm seeing definitely, Sharon, thanks for your comment. Mashloki Lang, thank you, Max. Great. So our ask is simply this. Take as much as you can. This is a complimentary webinar. If you've been following us for a while, you know this is what we do. This is our advertising, right? You don't find us advertising on Facebook or LinkedIn or anywhere like that. This is what we do. It's authentically leading with value. So take as much as you can. It's with our compliments. We ask nothing in return except a few minutes at the end to tell you a little bit of our business, what we do, the coaching programs we've developed. It'll be at the back end. So please stick around. And if there's, if it resonates with you, we would ask to set up a call. If not, great. Or if you just want to get guidance, we're happy to also have a chat with you. All right. So if that's cool, give me a yes in the chat. And I thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
So let's talk about developing strategic relationships. And we have a good starting point. And that is an algorithm that LinkedIn has developed as part of their social selling index. Now, you might have seen this, and it is readily available to all and any LinkedIn member. You will find the chat, Yatin, if you can please drop it in the link. So this is the SSI, the Social Selling Index, which measures how good you are at social selling, right, on LinkedIn. And as you can see, it is an aggregate out of 100, and it measures 4 components of your score. On the right-hand side, how good are you at establishing your brand? How good are you at finding the right people? How good are you at engaging with insights and content? And how good are you at building relationships? Each of these components scored on a scale of 1 to 25, so 25 being the maximum. And this is what we're looking at. We're looking at the building relationship score. And just to give you an idea how the score is made up, the algo looks at these components. The algo looks at your messaging. Do you actually message other members of the network, and do you respond to messages you receive? Do you connect? Do you build relationships by connecting on LinkedIn? Do you engage on posts? Do you like, comment, share posts in your network? Do you respond to notifications? When you are notified, do you actually do respond? And do you focus on decision makers? So what LinkedIn means here, when you reach out, when you connect, when you request a connection, when you message, they want you to focus on decision makers, because obviously, being a business network, LinkedIn wants you to be successful at building relationships at that level. So you do earn points on the relationship building score. Do you build multiple connections? Because if you want to get into a bigger account, maybe a major account, obviously you need to connect with a number of decision makers. And do you leverage your internal connections? So members in your team, members in your network that can refer you to decision makers. So please have a quick look at your SSI and tell us in the chat how strong is your relationship building index.
Hey,
Out of?
So Max, 55 is out of 100. Look at the building relationships bar out of 25. Yeah. Jeff, nice. That's a good SSI. So have a look at building relationships out of 25. Right, you should be getting something that looks like this on screen. So it's part of your overall index. Okay, Max, 15. Good, good. 15 out of 25. Thank you. Great. Nice. Mark is a 25 out of 25, like Dr. Nick.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody.
Great. So this is your baseline for measuring the effectiveness of your networking on LinkedIn. Now, LinkedIn also did a survey to find out what is it that decision makers actually prefer when they're networking, especially when they're networking online. And 73% of decision makers said they prefer to deal with somebody that has been referred to them by their network. And 87% of decision makers said that they would have a more favorable impression of you if you had been referred and introduced by somebody in their network. So we all know that if you have been referred, if you have been introduced by somebody in their network, obviously it helps you a lot to accelerate what we call the buyer's journey. And buying decisions now include not just 1 or 2, but more than 5, 5.4, and even more decision makers, right? So this is what you need to consider. And the formula that we typically apply for winning clients is really all about trust and value, right? Yatin, you're on mute. Please unmute.
Thank you. Yeah, exactly. As I alluded to earlier, trust and value. I mean, this is the formula to win and even retain clients. I mean, if you got this right, you are clearly, you've got your client at best interest at heart. So you're client centric, and people can spot it if you BSing, right? You know that. So radars are up, especially now when there's advertising and all of this has gone into overdrive, and messaging and cold messaging and calling. So you got to build trust and lead with value. And if you can understand the client's problems that they want to solve or the gains that they're trying to attain, and show through your endorsements, through your testimonials, that you are a trusted service provider that understands their business, you're likely to win more clients. So keep this in mind, right? You may wing it for the first or second time, but that's not a sustainable way to run a business. Okay.
So trust and relationships do matter most, especially today, especially in an era where so much of outreach, of communication, even networking is automated. I mean, just think about AI, right? Exactly. It is so much easier to now communicate at scale, but is it more effective? And just how important are relationships? In our work, in our experience over 15, 20 years by now, relationships do top almost every other aspect of doing business. So, absolutely. The good news is, sorry, I'm jumping ahead. The good news is that the new LinkedIn, as of today, provides you with 49 relationship building touch points, right? 49 subtle touch points to actually get noticed by the right people on LinkedIn. And what we've done, we've analyzed these 49 relationship building touch points, and we have mapped them across the buyer's journey to develop and establish our proprietary strategic relationship development map. So here are the 5 stages of your buyer's journey from awareness, where basically they obviously need to know about your product, and you need to reassure. And we're going to give you some insights how you can do that at awareness level, at awareness stage. You need to reassure your future clients through proof and promise. The second stage of the buyer's journey is consideration. Now you need to motivate them to consider yourself, your product, and your service. And you're doing this by making your future client feel appreciated and feel listened to. And again, we're going to unpack some of the touch points on LinkedIn. Now it's time to connect and obviously make your future client feel connected to you and cared for, right? So that's they trust you. Then you move them into a conversation where they share their pain points, their detail, their hopes and aspirations, and agree to the next step, which is conversion, right? Converting the deal, uncovering the real buying motivation, and generating the desire to progress. So we mapped out these 49 touch points along the 5 stages of your buyer's journey. And we also mapped what you see at the bottom, the so-called emotivators. So there are a number of triggers that motivate human beings to say yes, from assurance, challenge, connection to significance, growth, and another 2. And we're going to illustrate by example just now. So Yatin, can you quickly unpack?
Yeah, Doc, before you do that, if you just hop back to the map, it was information overload, right? But I want to just distill it as follows. Awareness is like if you're on a webinar and you advertise, your customers become aware of you. Over time, if you're adding value, they will consider, so the consideration phase, doing business with you. If there's a genuine connection, if they feel that you understand them, that's when the connection is made. The conversation is in the deal nurturing phase, right? Where you keep those prospective clients within your network, continuing to add value. They may not be ready to buy now, and that's absolutely fine. Okay, but we know it can even take 5 months. That was a very recent example, until you convert the deal. And what you find at the bottom, it's in our program, in our coaching program, but we've mapped, and these are tactics that you can use. And that may sound insincere, but we're always very ethical. That's underlying in what we do, right? There's no cheating. So we don't work with, startups or unknowns. You got to have a track record. So therefore, we know we can be sincere, and you will too. So the tactics, while it's all about when to use it, how to use it, and how to move your buyers from awareness to conversion. And webinars can cover 1, 2, and 3. On a webinar like this, if there's an awareness and a consideration, and we'll make a connection, right? That's what happens. A very powerful inbound marketing tool. More about that later. Thank you. So just unpacking the motivators, because that's a new word for many of you. It's really about the 7 needs that every human being has, right? The first one being the need for assurance, right? We all want to feel assured. We all want to know that there's money at the end of the month, that we're going to be taken care of. And that's why we have insurance policies and medical aid. That's a need that we have, and it's a survival need. Right, Doc?
That's correct. Very much so.
Good. Tell us about it.
Well, the opposite.
I think it's on the next slide, Doc. Oh, do you have the... Yes.
Yeah, of course.
That's the need. Right. Okay. Okay. So as I mentioned, that's why the need is, and it's covered by things like insurance policies and the like, and saving for a rainy day. That's what we do as humans. Now, understanding that, the question is, how can you make your connections, your prospective clients, feel more assured, feel that you understand their pain or their desires, and you have the elixir? That's what you need to do.
So this brings us obviously to the first stage of your buyer's journey, awareness, where they have to start trusting you, where you need to reassure them through proof and promise and demonstrate that you are the right person. So there are obviously a number of touch points on LinkedIn. First and foremost, your profile. Your profile has to be client-centric, right? So from your picture to your banner picture, that has to spell out the proof, right? So here you can showcase, you have to showcase the brands, the logos, your footprint as your team, your achievements, awards, if any. And then your headline has to be client-centric. So rather than telling them how great you are, you need to tell them who else you have earned achievements for, meaning other clients similar to them. So promise and proof.
Promise and proof, absolutely. And a simple thing like having a profile picture, is a trust builder. It gives the assurance that you're a real person, that you have a profile, that you're in business. This is very important. That's how you enable assurance, because people don't want to be fooled and cheated, right? And they're wary of that, especially with online conversations and outreach. Okay, so enable assurance.
Yeah.
The next demotivator, right, is another. Doc, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. So let's finish with assurance.
Sure.
So equally important is to have client video testimonials on your profile. The featured section, as you can see here, you need to feature client video testimonials, and there's a formula for getting a testimonial from a client on video that is compelling. There are 5 questions you need to ask. If you look at ours, you will recognize the formula, and you need to feature them. Really, really important touch point and trust point. So quickly tell us, who is featuring, are you currently featuring client testimonials on your profile, on your LinkedIn profile?
Yeah, please tell us in the chat. And in the meantime, as Doc indicated, I'll pop in our website where you can find client testimonials and clean the formula. Sharon, not yet. It's a very powerful authenticity protocol that you can use, right? So here's our. We are the dealmakersystem.com. Okay, Max, thank you. Recommendations. Good. Recommendations are great. Testimonials are even better.
As you know, on your LinkedIn. Yeah. So recommendations on LinkedIn, as you know, it's a section on your LinkedIn profile where your clients can write, and it shows, as you can see, their profile. So these are impossible to manufacture or to manipulate. And they make a big difference, as you can see here on my profile, as you can see here on your team's profile. You need to have a number of recommendations on your LinkedIn profile. So quickly tell us, how many, if any, recommendations have you got on your profile?
Please tell us in the chat. And while Tuvesh, thanks for the comment. Let's get the customer to say yes, absolutely. I mean, but bear in mind, it's more and more difficult, right? So you really have to up your game, build trust, add value, lead with value. Then you'll get more yeses. Thank you for your. Thank you, Max, Tuvesh. Thanks, Sharon.
Now, another trust building touchpoint on your profile is to showcase your certifications. And this is becoming very easy because you can actually get certifications for skills on LinkedIn Learning, right? And once you complete a learning course on LinkedIn Learning, you can display, as you can see here, your certificates, your relevant certificates on your profile. And then, as of today, LinkedIn has just announced that this section, the About section, as of March, will move right to the top of your profile. The About section, so who are you all about? You need to, the story you're telling to the world, you need to tell it in a compelling way, because it will be right on top. So be the first, and let it not be the last thing people see when they visit your profile. Okay, so that was all about awareness, building trust, assuring your future clients. The second stage, now you need to get them to consider your products, your services, yourself, and you need to do that by making them feel significant and listened to. Right, enabling significance.
Absolutely. Yeah, I can't, that's such powerful words. Make them feel listened to. There's so many business owners and leaders peddling their wares, just wanting to sell a one-size-fits-all type solution. That's the majority of the noise out there. And how to stand out from the crowd is when you put your client in the center and design your solution around them. And it's especially relevant if you're in professional services, as many of you are. Your customer needs to feel that, or your prospective customer needs to feel that. And by doing so, you make them feel significant. You understand their business. You're putting them at the center. And that's how by leading with value and the appropriate value, you'll filter out those that are not your ideal customers or clients and deal with only those that are potential clients. It saves time for everybody, and it's the only way to operate in the new economy, right? So with that in mind, ask yourself, how can you make your connections on LinkedIn feel more significant, right? How would you make them feel like you've got their best interest at heart, or your business is client-centric? That's what it is.
And the good news is we do have a formula for you, a tested and tried formula. We call it the 10-step plan. And to build rapport, because that's what you want at this stage. You will want to build rapport. So these are the 10 steps you need to consider when you reach out on LinkedIn. Obviously, target search first, your most valuable clients. So you speak to the right people, view their profile. Chances are they notice you. They have a look at your profile. So again, make sure your profile is client-centric. Follow them. They will definitely notice you. Ring their bell.
What bell, Doc? What bell are we talking about there?
So once you follow a profile, you will see that on the top right-hand corner, a bell will appear on their profile. You click the bell, you ring the bell, and all of a sudden, every time they post, you will be notified, which means you can be the first to engage, the first to like, comment, share, whatever they post. Again, makes them feel significant.
Yeah, it's a subscribe.
Here we go.
Sorry, Doc. It's just to say, it's the subscribe button that you may see on other social networks. Where you subscribe, hit the subscribe button. Ringing the bell is the same thing. You're subscribing to their feed, even when you're not connected. Thanks, Doc.
And you're interacting. You're showing an interest. You're making them feel significant. Then, and only then, should you send a personalized invitation to connect. And when we say personalized, gives them a good reason why they should connect with you. Then do the courteous thing and thank them nicely. And now you can text them. You're connected. You can text them when you do a poll. You can ask for their opinion. You can endorse their skills. And believe it or not, that is also an important significance builder. And you can obviously recommend their expertise if you're in a position to do so. So that's a 10.
Yeah, folks, this may sound like you're buttering the biscuit, right? But let us tell you, the LinkedIn algorithm works in such a way that this is what it favors. When you do these things, you are saying you're authentic, you want to build connection. That's the core of what social networking is about. And the algorithm will start to favor your content and, in fact, recommend you to people like those in your network. And this is how you grow your network. So don't be afraid to use it. It's really, they want you to be a nice person, be kind, right? No disparaging remarks. And unlike other social media, you will get shut down. So don't hesitate to make your connections feel significant in an authentic way, right?
Okay, so that's all about the 10-step plan, building rapport, getting them to consider you. Now it's time to connect, right? And that's a 30 motivator, a very powerful motivator.
Extremely powerful, and that's what social networks are built on, especially now also that we've come out of the pandemic. Connection is more and more needed between people. So we're born connected to our mothers. That's the bottom line. So whether you like it or not, we connected to humans. So we are social animals, some more than others. Yes, you may be slightly introverted or not, but this is what we need. It's a need. It's a survival need. So with that in mind, how can you make your connections and clients feel more connected to you and each other? How do you do that, Doc?
Yeah, it's a good question. And again, there is a formula, a tried and tested formula, and it has a lot to do with what we call inbound marketing rather than outbound, because outbound in so many ways doesn't connect you, it repels you, right? So what has changed, Yatin? What has changed so much in marketing?
So outbound is dead unless you're doing it at scale. It's pretty much like cold calling. 97% of the time, it doesn't work. You'll get a 3% response rate. So unless you're spraying that message all around the world and hoping to get 3 out of 100 in to talk to you, go ahead, carry on. If you want to do something different that doesn't frustrate you by being ghosted, right, on all these messages you shoot out and these bulk message portals you pay for, like whether it's SMSs or whatever, those are all not working. They're dead. Inbound marketing is like this. What we're doing right now, this is the epitome of inbound marketing, where you lead with value. And if anything we're saying here resonates with you, you will call us. Simple as that. And that's how we built our business. And now we're coaching clients on how to do that. So forget outbound, embrace inbound. Key message. We've been there. We've done the other side. It's more successful in inbound, less frustrating, and it's you build relationships. No one wants to be sold to. People want to be attracted to you. Okay?
And the most effective way of attracting, connecting with decision makers through inbound marketing is eventing, especially virtual events. Live events are great, but obviously they take a lot of time, especially if you look at a large live event like this, and they're very costly, right?
Yeah.
So there's a place for live events. People love live events, but virtual events allow you to connect at scale. And we've been running virtual events now for 4 years. We had more than 45,000 people register. And so you can have conversations on scale. You can demonstrate your thought leadership because virtual events typically allow you to connect for 60 minutes. And if you do it correctly, you get the full attention of the right people, right? And feedback. So you know what works and you know what doesn't work. If you have a sales and marketing team, it's a great way to bring them together because to design, to develop a webinar, to deliver a webinar, to follow up, to convert a webinar, you need sales and marketing to work together. As I said, it gives you, it affords you 60 minutes of premium engagement. So not just another post where people might spend a couple of seconds, maybe a minute or two, 60 minutes. And obviously you can leverage your webinar, your virtual event for content. So every time we run a virtual event, we get a minimum of a dozen really good content pieces. At the same time, you can grow your email database because obviously people register with you, they register on LinkedIn, they register with Zoom. And if you filter out your email database to look for decision makers, this is how we built a very concise email database of more than 5,000 decision makers. And the great thing about virtual events, it allows you to accelerate your buyer's journey all the way from awareness through to consideration, connection to conversation, right? There's no other tool that allows you to accelerate from stage 1 to stage 4 in
Absolutely.
60 minutes.
Yep. All that's left to do is conversation and conversion. It's easy as that.
Exactly. At the same time, if you serialize your virtual events, you build a marketing machine. Every time you do it better. And every time you do it, you increase your reach, you enlarge your audience, you reach more people. And then you know exactly which leaks to plug because there are definitive stages, as you know, with a buyer's journey, and especially with virtual events. There are 6 stages. Now, I'm not going to bore you with the details, but there are metrics. There are metrics for the event pipeline. where you can see exactly where do you lose leads, where are plugs, where do you have to optimize between the people that sign up, people that show up, and people that pay up. So, Yatin, tell us, how do you build pipeline in the new economy?
There we go. There we go. If you want to build deal pipeline and stay ahead of the competition, inbound marketing, right? The only way. So this is how a typical business engine works. You've got 5 pistons. The first, and this talks to our coaching program. This is, as I said in the beginning. So hear us out. This is how we build it. We start with the internal work. We help you with your mindset, right? Understanding why you're getting ghosted. What should be your messaging? What's your purpose, right? We do the purpose work with you. And then we get you to attract clients, which is the fuel of this engine. If you're not attracting clients, everything else is academic. You can't convert deals. You haven't, right? You haven't attracted clients. But once you've attracted that and you built that pipeline of prospects, you then go into the deal conversion phase. And now many clients have told us they're struggling with those two. That's the hardest. That is the hardest. Because once you got that right and you're delivering value, your testimonials, like ours on the website, takes care of you and you start to scale, right? That's your confirmation that you're real, you're legit, you've been adding value, and hey, maybe I should be talking to these guys. That's what you need to do. But so focus on attracting clients. It means you need a full 7-star LinkedIn profile, a company page. You must have a webinar platform, a newsletter, and a couple of other key things in place that will enable the ICE formula, the invitations, content, and email. That's our formula to attract clients to your events. But if you're attracting the wrong clients or you're reaching out and getting ghosted, that's typical frustrations that are happening right now. Or you're attracting the wrong clients. And then when you attract the right clients, you're so busy maybe working on 1 or 2 of these clients that you don't have time to properly nurture and convert the deal. It means you don't have a system in place. And that's what we're all about in the Dealmaker system. It's about building that system. And here's the news, and Jeff, you raised it. So we don't advertise, we don't cold call. It's all about just getting more meetings with decision makers in your target industry. So our coaching programs are we specialize in new business development, client acquisition, pipeline growth, whatever you want to call it, through inbound marketing. If you knew us a few years ago, we were about outbound. We're done with that. It worked then, it doesn't work now. So if you want to know more, fill in an application form. I just dropped the link in the chat. Just tell us a little bit about your business, the size of business. And we've got a few qualification criteria, Doc, on the next tab, I think. So, right, if you qualify only, so we don't set any expectations here. If we don't contact you, maybe you don't fit our profile as a client, right? So we don't work with startups, no NGOs. You must be in B2B, not B2C, and you must have a client track record. So you have a compelling, you have an offer, because some say I have an offer but not compelling. So we are choosing my words carefully. You have an offer to give. You have a skill or you have a service. You have 1 or 2 clients, but it's just not humming. Your engine's just not purring. You're the one we want to speak to. All right. So fill in that application form. Check out our website, thedealmakersystem.com. You'll also get notifications of our next webinar, which is towards the end of this month. So, folks,
that's right. But don't listen to us. Yeah. Don't listen to us. Listen to what our clients have to say. Here we go.
And
I think you offered some great advice on improving my very poor LinkedIn profile, and hopefully that's now up to scratch. And we're well into our second webinar. We did a rehearsal for that yesterday. We've got a couple of leads coming through from the first one, which are being progressed. And overall, I think I'll give you a cast iron guarantee.
It's also in the professionalism with which you structure these weekly sessions, the manner in which you coach I think there is a strong level of empathy that you realize that it is uncharted territory for many professionals. Both of your styles, they're very nurturing.
I find that my only constraint is time. Where before I didn't quite know what to do or where to do. Now I have so much happening within my business in terms of prospecting, and I think there's something to be said for the approach you use and the thinking partnership, and that is really critical for any entrepreneur, especially if they're working on their own, to have that kind of meaningful engagement. So I think it gave me a lot of energy. It gave me a lot of motivation.
I would 100% recommend other businesses to work. You know, obviously you're seeing yourself and Dr. Nick. And I think it's you become fully engaged in the business.
I was impressed with you guys' ability to tailor. You work with such a wide swath of different companies and individuals. But I think because of that, you've got lots of insight, and you were able to tailor things specifically for us and our unique, set. So yeah, thank you for that. Definitely would recommend it.
Because over and above that, you are expected what you do, and so you are able to offer direction, and it's kind of refreshing for even the marketing team to move from there after working with you and going on forward, because now they have new perspective and they have new insights that they've learned from you.
In today's world where everybody is looking at everything through LinkedIn and all the other social media platforms, the track you gave us to run on really made a difference.
What would you say to business owners who are considering working with the Dealmaker twins?
Oh, I definitely encourage. I've spoken to a number of my colleagues in the industry and suggested that they contact you. It was well worth the investment. The return on investment of the time spent and the dollars invested has paid for itself and will only continue to as we go forward.
I attended some of your webinars and saw the technique, the artistry really behind the approach, and was impressed by that. And then, of course, your very skillful follow-up. Yatin certainly, but Yatin especially is very good at the follow-up and closing the deal. The wins really were getting into webinars and learning about a very sound technique and an approach in the webinar, and it opens up a whole new channel. So yeah, absolutely. If you're thinking about it, try it. I think you'll like it.
Okay. Try it. I think you'll like it. Any questions, folks, before we say goodbye? Please don't hesitate.
I've got a question.
Yes.
Hi,
Thank you. You caught me there.
Yes. So my question is, I see you've excluded startups, I guess, for now. Is there any intention on offering this type of service for people like myself who are just beginning on our entrepreneurial journeys?
No, absolutely. We have a product. It's not a coaching program, but it's a book that you can find on Amazon. It's called Pre-Sold: How to Stand Out from the Crowd. If you like, I can drop the link. Our work focuses on scaling enterprises, and helping you to firm up an offer that you have. But it works best if you have a track record. So startups, we refer you to the book. It's about $9, and it's loaded with information on how to build a world-class profile, how to get the algorithm to work for you on LinkedIn. So do check it out.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Right, thank you too.
Thank you so much. Yes. Any other? Thank you, Max. Very welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, and we hope to see you on LinkedIn.
One second, I just found the link to our book, which I'll put in here. If anyone's interested, it's on Amazon. Here it comes. Yeah, Perfect. There you go. Okay, folks, thank you for your time. And see you on Planet LinkedIn.
Yeah. Have a good
Thank
evening.
you.
Ciao.
Have a good one. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye-bye.